Welcome to Go Fact Yourself, the Top 10 Lists podcast.
Great to be here.
Today, we are setting off on a really spooky top 10 journey.
Definitely leaning into the spooky side.
We're looking at the top 10 haunted places in the USA that'll possess your brain, not just your house.
Yeah, and these aren't just your standard haunted houses, right? We're talking prisons, old hotels, even an amusement park with a dark past.
Exactly. You send over some fantastic top research articles, historical notes, paranormal investigations. Our mission for this top 10 journey is to really dig into what makes these 10 places stand out.
Try and figure out why they're considered so active based on that top research, yeah.
Okay, let's jump right in. Number 10, the Lemp Mansion in St. Louis, Missouri.
Right, the Lemp Mansion. It's a really compelling start because the haunting seems so deeply connected to the family itself.
The Lemp Brewers? That family.
Yeah, the beer fortune family. And the top research from places like the Missouri History Museum and hauntedroadtrip.com really points to a pattern of tragedy. It feels less random, more like a curse almost.
A curse. So what specifically makes it feel that way, according to the research?
Well, it's the repetition. 4 family members died by suicide right there in the mansion.
4. Wow.
Yeah, and the details are grim. One in a bathtub, another apparently after hearing phantom footsteps. Just relentless despair in one location.
Phantom footsteps leading to... That's intensely disturbing. It really suggests that trauma can, soak into a place.
That's exactly what the St. Louis Paranormal Society findings and some of those personal accounts you send over seem to suggest, this idea of intense emotional residue.
Makes sense. Okay, moving on. Number 9, Eastern State Penitentiary in Philly.
Eastern State. Fascinating place. The top research here, like from the Smithsonian Channel and even Ghost Hunters, looks at how its whole design might play into the hauntings.
Its design. How so? It was known for solitary confinement, right?
Exactly. Designed for total isolation to force penitence. But that intense psychological pressure, that solitude, maybe it left something behind. Or created an environment where people experience things.
So the reform method might have backfired, spectrally speaking. What are people actually reporting there now?
All sorts of things. Whispers are common, shadowy figures darting around the cell blocks. One really vivid story from Philly.com mentioned someone seeing a face literally melting out of a wall.
Melting out of a wall. Okay, that's terrifying.
Right. And get this, even Al Capone, when he was locked up there, claimed he was being haunted by something.
Capone himself. Wow. Okay, so it wasn't just the isolation getting to him, maybe.
Well, who knows for sure? But it adds to the legend, doesn't it? Whether it's psychological residue or something else, the place definitely has an oppressive feel, according to visitors.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, number 8 takes us west. Hotel Monte Vista in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Yes, the Monte Vista. Classic old hotel, bit of a Wild West vibe in its history. The top research included some great stuff from the Flagstaff Ghost Walk oral histories.
So drifters, bank robbers, the usual suspects for a historic hotel.
Pretty much. And maybe some of them stuck around. The stories aren't just recent inventions. They seem to go way back according to those local accounts.
So what kind of spectral room service are we talking about here?
Well, 2 standouts from the research. There's the phantom bellboy, who supposedly knocks and sometimes just walks right into rooms.
Knocked in. Okay, creepy.
And maybe even creepier, there's a story about a ghostly woman who just stands silently and watches guests sleep, sometimes for hours.
Oh, nope. Absolutely not. That's pure nightmare fuel. Just watching.
Right. It's that passive but intensely unnerving stuff. Seems almost purposeful, some of it. Like they have routines.
Yeah, less like a random cold spot, more like lingering intent. Okay, let's shift gears completely. Number 7, Lake Shawnee Amusement Park in West Virginia.
Oh, boy. Lake Shawnee. This one is deeply unsettling. The top research from BuzzFeed Unsolved and the State Archives paints a grim picture.
Yeah, the notes mention it was built on an ancient burial ground.
An ancient Native American burial ground, yes. And then, as an amusement park, it became the site of several tragic accidents. Kids died there.
Oh, man. So you have sacred ground, then childhood tragedy laid on top. That's a potent mix.
Exactly. That layering seems key to the intensity reported there. The contrast is just so stark.
What kind of encounters are we talking about, given the history?
Well, fittingly, perhaps, people report seeing a little girl in a pink dress, often near the old swings.
Oh, heartbreaking.
Yeah. And there's this really intense account mentioned in a few sources about a psychic visiting the park who claimed she suddenly experienced all the deaths that happened there, all at once. had a severe physical
And
reaction.
experiencing all the deaths simultaneously, I can't even imagine. That speaks volumes about the psychic weight of that place.
It really does. The idea that joy and sudden, violent loss are somehow imprinted on the same spot, it's disturbing.
Deeply. Okay, number 6. Back to LA, but maybe not where you'd expect. The Comedy Store basement.
Right. The Comedy Store. Famous for laughs, but the top research from comedian interviews and some LA paranormal groups points downstairs.
The basement wasn't always part of the club, was it?
No, apparently it was a mob hangout back in the day. Ciro's, I think. So, maybe some rough characters or leftover energy from that time.
So are the ghosts heckling the comedians now?
Huh. Maybe. Some comics have reported weird stuff during their sets. Physical touches, mostly.
Touches, like while they're on stage.
Yeah. One guy, mentioned on the LA Hans podcast, I think it was, felt a freezing cold hand clamped down on his shoulder mid-joke.
Get out!
Yeah.
Imagine trying to land a punchline after that. Gives cold audience a whole new meaning.
Right. So are they interacting,
What
judging
rank?
the material, or just residual weirdness? Hard to say, but the comedians definitely feel something.
Wild. Okay, cracking the top 5. Number 5, St. Augustine Lighthouse, Florida.
Ah, the lighthouse. Beautiful, historic, and apparently quite haunted. The top research from the Florida Heritage Society and even Ghost Hunters Live backs that up.
What's the story here? Lighthouses often have lonely tales.
This one's tied to a specific tragedy. During construction, several young girls, the daughters of the superintendent, I believe, drowned nearby after a cart they were playing in broke and fell into the ocean.
Oh, how awful. So people think it's their spirits.
That's the main story, yeah. People report hearing children laughing, playing, especially near the top of the stairs.
Okay, sad but maybe not too scary.
Well, some reports get scarier. Visitors have described feeling suddenly pulled towards the open stairwell, and one park ranger actually claimed he was physically held in place, like something wouldn't let him move.
Whoa, held in place. Okay, that's different. That's not just residual echoes. That sounds interactive and potentially dangerous.
Exactly. It raises questions, doesn't it? Playful energy or something more forceful.
Yeah,
The ranger's account definitely suggests the latter.
definitely. All right, number 4 is different. Not a place, but an object. Robert the Doll in Key West.
Robert. Yeah, he's probably one of the most famous haunted objects out there. The top research from the Key West Art and Historical Society and that Vice article really captures his creepy reputation.
Just looking at pictures of him is unsettling. What's he supposedly do?
All sorts of things, according to the stories. Malfunctioning electronics, cameras breaking, general misfortune befalling people who apparently disrespect him.
Disrespect a doll. How?
By laughing at him, taking his picture without asking permission.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. The museum even advises people to be polite.
You have to ask a doll for permission to take a photo.
That's the lore. And the most striking thing, the museum has received over 1,000 apology letters addressed to Robert.
1,000 apologies. To a doll. What are people apologizing for?
Bad luck, accidents, weird occurrences, things they believe happened because they slighted Robert. People genuinely seem to think he caused their problems after visiting. Staff report weird stuff too, people fainting.
That's genuinely bizarre. It speaks volumes about the power of belief, or maybe something else is tied to that doll.
It's a real head-scratcher. Mass suggestion. Or has the object itself absorbed something?
Creepy either way. Okay, top 3. Number 3, Stull Cemetery, Kansas.
Stoll.
Yeah.
This one is all about the legend. Your top research from KU folklore studies and local paranormal groups highlights how a small rural cemetery gained this massive dark reputation.
Reputation for what, exactly? The notes mentioned a gateway.
Yeah, the big one is that it's supposedly one of the gateways to hell, right there in Kansas.
Well, gateway to hell. Okay, that's ambitious for a small cemetery. Where does that even come from?
It seems to stem from local legends, stories about witchcraft, weird occurrences around the old ruined church on the grounds.
But the church, what about it?
One persistent story is that the church, despite having no roof, remains perfectly dry inside, even during torrential rain.
No roof, but dry inside. That's undeniably weird if true.
Right, and then there are darker tales, fueled partly by things like that Reddit story you found about rituals gone wrong, people vanishing. It taps into some deep-seated fears.
Yeah, it sounds like folklore taking on a life of its own, maybe amplified by a few genuinely strange things. Okay, number 2, a very infamous location, the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles.
Ah, this Cecil, or Hotel Cecil, stay on Main. It's had a few names, but its history is consistently dark. The top research here is Heavy, the Netflix doc, LAPD Archives, LA Times.
Yeah, this place isn't just about ghost stories, is it? It's got a horrifying real-world history.
Absolutely. A shocking number of suicides, unexplained deaths, and then the serial killer connection. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, stayed there. Jack Unterweger, the Austrian serial killer, also stayed there while he was killing in L.A.
Wait, two separate active serial killers chose the same hotel?
Yep, decades apart. It's an unbelievably grim coincidence, isn't it? And that's before you even get to the Elisa Lam case.
Right, the Elisa Lam case.
Yeah,
That footage in the elevator is just haunting. The whole
Yeah.
thing is so tragic and bizarre. It feels like the building itself attracts darkness.
That's the overwhelming feeling many get from the Cecil. The sheer concentration of tragedy, violence, and mystery in one place is staggering. It makes the ghost stories seem almost inevitable somehow.
Yeah, like the real horror is almost too much, so it spills over into the supernatural. Okay, that leaves number one. What's the most haunted place in the USA, according to our top 10 journey?
Waverly Hill Sanatorium, Louisville, Kentucky.
Waverly Hills. I've definitely heard of this one. Former tuberculosis hospital, right?
That's right. And the scale of death there is just hard to comprehend. The top research, including old health records and reports from investigations like Ghost Adventures, estimates tens of thousands of people died within those walls.
Tens of thousands. Just imagine the suffering. No wonder it has such a reputation.
Exactly. And the reported activity is intense and varied. Shadow figures are common sightings, disembodied screams, voices.
The death tunnel, too, right? Where they move the bodies?
Yeah, the body chute, that's a major hotspot. And specific rooms, like the infamous Room 502, associated with stories of nurses dying there.
What makes Waverly stand out even more, according to the research? Any specific encounters?
There's one account mentioned in the Louisville Courier-Journal archives that really sticks with you. A visitor claimed a disembodied voice whispered a childhood nickname to them, a nickname no one else on the tour could have possibly known.
Okay, that is chilling. That's not just a noise. That's specific personal information. It goes beyond just spooky bumps in the night.
Absolutely. It suggests an awareness, an intelligence almost, that is deeply unsettling. Given the history and the sheer volume and nature of these reports, Waverly Hills consistently tops lists like this for a reason.
Wow. Okay, that was quite the top 10 journey through some seriously chilling places. Thanks for guiding us through that top research.
It's fascinating stuff, isn't it? Even if you're skeptical, the stories and the history are compelling.
Before we wrap up, let's hit the fact blast zone. Some quick hits from the outline notes. The White House.
Yep. Supposedly, Abraham Lincoln's ghost hangs out there. Winston Churchill apparently saw him naked after getting out of the bath.
Churchill saw Lincoln's ghost naked. Okay. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery in Illinois.
Known for a vanishing ghost car, just disappears.
The Queen Mary ship in Long Beach.
Haunted swimming pool, mainly. Tied to a drowning death back in the 30s. Still reports of wet footprints, splashing sounds from an empty pool.
Creepy. Bobby Mackey's Music World in Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. That place has legends of being a portal to hell. Seriously, they've apparently done exorcisms there. It's a country music bar.
A portal to hell next to the honky tonk. Makes sense. Bell Witch Cave, Tennessee.
Famous haunting. One story claims a tourist who loudly disbelieved the legend suddenly started bleeding spontaneously.
Yikes. And finally, Denver International Airport.
DIA. Built over burial grounds, tons of conspiracy theories about underground bunkers, secret societies. Oh, and that giant demonic-looking blue horse statue outside? Lucifer. It actually killed its creator when a piece fell on him.
Okay, that's disturbingly fitting. Wow, what a list.
A lot of strange spots out there.
Well, that really was a whirlwind top 10 journey. From cursed dolls getting mail to potential gateways to the underworld and hospitals soaked in tragedy. America's got some intense haunted history.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Robert the Doll.
Why do so many people feel that need to apologize? What kind of power does belief, or maybe something else, give an object?
Right, or that church in Stoll. Is it just folklore, or could there be something genuinely unexplainable happening there with the rain?
And the Cecil. The sheer weight of documented tragedy concentrated in one building, it really makes you consider what kind of echoes the past can leave behind. Can a place become saturated with sorrow or violence?
It's a heavy thought. We hope this top 10 journey sparked your curiosity, maybe gave you some places to add to your avoid list, or perhaps your must-visit list, if you're brave.
What do you make of these stories? Are there other places that chill you to the bone? Keep questioning, keep exploring.
Absolutely. Who knows what bizarre truths we might uncover on our next Go Fact Yourself Top 10 journey.